I got a question. So and I'll just speak for me and my friends, and I feel like I feel like it's y'all as well. I feel like we do the same thing. Have y'all ever realized, like, when we're talking and we meet up with each other and we like, dog, what's going on with you? Hey, like if I were to go around the room right now and I'd be like, yo, hey Corey, how you feel? You'd be like, good. Shaq,
Gucci.
like good, I'm straight. Like Marcus, how you feel? Man, everything cool. I'm cool. And like notice like you know what I'm saying? Like if we talk about it, even if we talk about it regardless of like what the setting is for the most part, we always say, especially like as black men, we always say like we're good. Is there a reason why we do that shit? And then I got a follow-up question behind that too.
I wouldn't.
I feel like we were like raised to kind of do that, like as males. You know what I'm saying? You're told to be tough and you're told to be, shake that shit off. So like, I mean, I guess like when you are in your 30s or when you do become an adult, especially as a male, not even just an African American male, but just a male in general, it's like, all right, my fucking back might be killing me, but y'all niggas will never know that shit. I mean, now is that now the thing is that necessarily a good thing? No.
Pause.
No.
Nah, man, nah. I agree though. I don't think it's necessarily a black or white thing or nothing like that. I think it's just in the Western society male type shit. You know what I'm saying? Rah rah rah. We supposed to be out here like that. So nothing's supposed to be bothering us or whatever the fuck. So we say everything is Gucci, everything is good or whatever. Yeah, like you said, when you're a little boy, you bust your head, you're leaking out the side of your head. Your daddy tell you, get your ass up. Stop crying. What you crying for, man? What you crying for? You okay? You okay? You don't need nothing but a couple stitches or some shit. But yeah, man, I think it's just a male type thing in the Western society. But don't get me wrong, it might be the same thing in other societies. As far as the males anyway. You're supposed to be the provider and the protector and all that shit. So get your ass up.
I think when people ask like how you doing and shit, for me, it's not a fucking open invitation for you to explain exactly how you feel. Like don't
right.
If I ask you how you doing, I
hear that.
actually tell me how they doing. Like I can't stand that shit. Say, yeah, good. Okay, keep moving.
Just say hello, nigga. Just say hello.
don't put that shit on me and tell me your fucking like all your ailments and shit like that. Cause like now I gotta walk around and knowing all that shit.
Like that. Yeah. I gotta walk around knowing you all fucked up and shit.
So you're right. I feel like men, we actually do. I think we gotta go through like 2 or 3 layers before we even talk about like our day. Like we'd be like, what's up with you? How you feeling? Good. I'm good. I'm Gucci. Boo, 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 boo. And then we keep it pushing. Then the second time we'd be like, so how's your day going? Yeah, I'm good. I got this meeting at 6. And then that's all you get. And then the third time, you ask, you be like, all right, I'm done. What's really going on? Like, are you all right? You're like, man, I've been going through some shit like that. So you gotta ask, like, you almost gotta ask like 3 times. But the funny thing about it is, I know that women are like, they perfect that shit to the T, because like I just see conversations, with my girl, and like she could just ask somebody one thing and they just break down. Oh, I got this going on and this and this and this. Oh, like damn, like we don't never do that. But I think it's our nature. One other thing I wanted to mention too, because I've been to the South and I've been to the Midwest, and we got a different culture here. Like I was walking in this mall in Detroit, and like 5 to 6 people like stopped and like just had full on conversations with me. I had no idea who they were. They was just like, talked to me, talked about my clothes, like talked about they had a dog and all that stuff. I'm like, bro, like this never happens in DC or DMV. So I think it's a culture thing too. Like people share a lot in different areas and different regions, and it's just it's different. It's just crazy.
I would agree with that
Well,
culture.
what I'll say on that topic is, I feel like as men, you know, it's this like natural competitiveness that exists, like it's unspoken. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, you know, when you're dealing with other men, you don't want to show that level of vulnerability because you could be like, you know, showing your hand, you showing another nigga the opportunity to take advantage of you if you open yourself up too much. So you know, you kind of got to keep that guard up just generally as a man, because you know, I'll even say from experience, like even when you try to open up to niggas, like it's rare that you met with empathy. It's more like, you know, niggas is kind of like, you like, I'm going through this, and then niggas start clowning you for going through
like nigga, you a bitch.
It's like, so it's like, you know, it's not really like a play. It's not truly like, you know, I guess it for your
not
own
a safe
better
space.
overall space. It's really not good to open up too much. It's fucked up as it sounds, but you know, we can say that we don't open up as men, but even when we do try to open up, it's rare that we met with empathy. You know what I'm saying? It's rare, even from females. You know what I'm saying? I feel like even sometimes when we open up as men to even women, I feel like we're rarely met with empathy. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's like our mothers or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know. I just so I feel like as a man, it really doesn't really do you too much benefit to just open up.
That's true. And you know what? That's true. And you know what, Marcus? I don't think men have a lot of experience in giving empathy. You know what I'm saying? Like if you had somebody, if I asked Al how your day going, and he was like, man, I had a panic attack last week. This week, I got, you know, this bill due. I'm behind on this, I'm having a breakdown. I wouldn't know what the fuck to say. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Right.
I'd be like, oh, okay. Can I help? Like, how do you want me to help you? But a female would be like, well, let's talk it through and let's write down what you can do to figure this out and let's do goal setting. I'm like, you know, like I feel like I don't got no experience with that shit.
That's what I was saying. It's like it might be culture, but it might not. I don't know how they're doing on the other side of the map as far as, you know.
Yeah, I also think that's when it's also like when you do have like your parents or you do have like your grandmother or your grandfather, like those type of people, to get like wisdom from those people if you still have them around, because like, you know what I'm saying, those are the type, they've been through all of that shit, you know what I'm saying. But a lot of people don't have that, you know what I'm saying, so we just kind of shelter ourselves in our own minds, like, all right, you know what,
I mean, especially when you're dealing with your peers. Like I feel like a lot of niggas don't admit that shit, but I feel like, you know, like you said, we talking about opening up, but when you dealing with niggas that's like of your same, you know, elk and shit, like most niggas ain't gonna meet you with empathy. And not even just that, it's like even as a man, it's like, you know, if you showing vulnerability, it shows a lack of trust. It's like, okay, can I trust this nigga to hold me down? He seems a little shaky. He seemed like he ain't got his shit together, so I don't know if I could trust this dude. So even when you show that vulnerability, it's like, you know, you know what I'm trying to say is like, I don't know if I could confide in this man right here, because he don't seem to know what he want. He don't seem to know where he want to go. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you want to establish that trust, you got to kind of keep your shit together even when it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of fucked up. It's almost like it's just the reality of being a man. Like, you know, it's like you're always in this state of pain, you know what I'm saying? But you don't acknowledge it. You just deal with it and you keep it moving. If it makes sense, you know what I'm saying? It's like you don't have time to worry about yourself. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like you don't even have, because it's bigger and better things that need to be accomplished than your own personal feelings. You know what I'm saying? So it's like kind of a reality. It's like an art. You got to kind of just learn to accept that reality that you was born as a man, and that's just some shit you got to deal with, you know?
What if you trying to like explain to, like, you know, I'm going through this, and you don't really want to put that on somebody else that could be going through this.
Yeah.
You don't want to onto their shit. So,
but that's another part. And Randall, that makes sense, because that's another part of establishing trust. Is like, if you want the people around you to feel safe and feel secure, but then you put your problems on them, now you create more instability. You know what I mean? So,
but at what point do you at what point does that go to the wayside and you actually are a friend? You know what I'm saying? Because if you my homie, right? and I'm supposed to be confronted. If you my homie and I come to you and I break down and I'm telling you some real shit, some shit that's going on in my life, and like you said, if I don't get that empathy back from you and I consider you to be a friend, like, are you really a friend? You know what I'm saying? At that point in time, and that's not to judge, but at the same time, it's like you kind of know like where you stand, kind of sort of. Because, and it's tough. It's tough being a male, yo. In general, it's tough.
And Brian,
it's hard.
What I'll say to that is important because that's actually needed as males. That's the importance of brotherhood. Like that's some shit that you need. You got to have some males that you can confide in. It's like that whole concept of iron sharpens iron. Like we as men, we understand that we do have emotions. So you got to have a brotherhood. You got to have other men. Like we're strictly talking about men that you can confide in, that can understand you while you still not lose any strength. You know what I'm saying? Where your you know what I'm saying? Your sword isn't being you know what I'm trying to say? Like they keep your sword sharp, but without
keep your sword sharper. Yeah.
You understand what I'm trying to say? You understand what I'm trying to say? It's like that's the importance of having a brotherhood and having trust. You know what I'm saying? I think that's also the whole concept, even these secret societies we was talking about. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of them, they just deal with each other. It's like a level of trust. It's, you know what I mean? I think that's what this shit is truly all about.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm just gonna I'm gonna answer my perspective too, because I feel like we've had conversations like that within this group because we got similar situations, and you know, we've gotten advice from each other. I think we do it in our own way. You know what I mean? I don't think we're perfect at it, but I do feel like when somebody does come with another person with problems, like we usually do. Or are empathetic or show empathy in our own way. And so, you know, I know everybody's different. So, you know, I wouldn't expect, you know, somebody to be like the perfect soundboard and give me the perfect advice. You know what I'm saying? That's my age. Like, I feel like when you're talking to somebody your age, it's more like, bro, I'm going through this. Like, have you ever experienced this? And they give you feedback. But if you really want some advice, you would go to somebody that's older. Like I forgot, I think Brian said it, like your elders or your older family members, because they've already been through it and they can give you, you know, they can give you like actually past advice. Like, okay, well, this is what.
And you hold up, real quick, because I know Al about to come in this joint real quick. I just wanted to say, because Brian had mentioned because it's not gonna be drawn out. Brian had mentioned grandparents, and shout out to my grandmother. She got her birthday coming up on Saturday. I just wanted to say, as far as the grandparents, I'm trying to get my grandmother to like do like some type of audio something or whatever to record like life stories and what they had to deal with. My grandmother came from on the black hand side on my daddy's side. You know what I'm saying? She came from Alabama, so I know she got some motherfucking stories to tell out this joint. If your grandparents are still here, get them to record their life stories or whatever coming up and some advice or whatever the fuck. Go ahead, Al.
You just gonna pass it off like that? y'all already talked about everything, but I was just gonna say, do y'all think? I know we need to have like. I'll just say accountability partners or accountability brothers or accountability friends, whereas though, you know what I'm saying, like we can talk about different things that are plaguing us, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying, we can piggyback like some of the experiences and yes, we definitely do need elders, but at the same time, I think we also need to talk about that shit within our own circles. Because like some of the same shit that I've been through, I probably can go down the list. And if I mean, there's 6 of us on right now, if it's not all 5 of us, all 6 of us, probably 4 out of 6 might have been through. We can talk about that shit, bounce that shit around. But my real question is, or my next question, my follow-up question was, do y'all think that at any point in time that we're ever going to get, not necessarily us, but at any point in time, once again, I feel like I'm just going to speak for all black men. Do y'all think we're going to get out of the black men, or especially the black men in our area, where we are getting transparent about how we're feeling? Do y'all think that we're ever going to get out of that, or is it always going to be like, hey, man, what's going on? How you feel? You're going to see somebody maybe not at the grocery store right now, but you see somebody out and about, and you're like, hey, bro, how you feeling? And be like, oh, I'm good. And then not necessarily like 2 weeks later, you fill out or you find out that somebody had a breakdown. And you know what I'm saying? It's because they didn't necessarily share what was going on with them. Yeah, I think we ever gonna get out of that.
That's gonna be tough.
Never.
Because guess what, Al? To your point, even without knowing that I'm doing it, I do it to like my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like I may come home from work, right? I'm just want to sit the fuck down. I don't want to do shit, but sit the fuck down and watch something. So and then like let's say my son would be like, "Hey, Dad, what's up?" I'm like, yeah, what's up?" Like then like how was work today? And I'm like, it was alright. But knowing shit could have went completely left at work. I just had a horrible day at work, but I don't show that to him. So therefore, like I'm ingraining that into my not only just me doing it, but like my son sees that something's not right, but he's holding it in. So maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Maybe it's like I don't know. I don't know if it's something that's like gotta be like a generational thing that has to be broken as far as doing that. But that's gonna be tough.
That's what I do that shit too. So,
you think it's more cultural though?
And the toughest part. So first, I'm gonna say that I think it's gonna get worse and worse just because of the generation we're in and how everything is quick. Quick and to the point. Like everything is flashes and text messages and notifications. Like I feel like it's just gonna get worse and worse, especially with men. But also to Brian's point, breaking that generational curse, like if you're not open and you're not talking and you're not able to share your feelings and your emotions, I think that does build up stuff too. So breaking that curse is going to be hard too, because we talked about this before. Like, it's like, when do you get to the point where you're sharing too much and you're too emotional? You know what I'm saying? Like, right. because there's already stigmatization and like on the feminine aspect of how people are, that are males, and they share too much or they do this. So it's crazy, and the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because it is like a medium, right? Because if you're sharing too much and you too emotional and you too, you know what I'm saying? If a guy is more emotional than the girl he's with, that shit ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. It's like it's got to be some type of medium. But it to Brian's point, like that shit got to be talked through. For the next generation to even feel okay with stuff like that.
And then I'll be like, so how was school? It was all right.
Yeah, exactly.
They're doing the same shit I'm doing.
Yeah, same shit.
Yeah, and maybe even worse. Maybe even worse.
Crazy.
But do you not think that it was the same way when we were coming up? When we would ask I wasn't asking my mother, you know what I'm saying, how was work, but she would ask me how school was, and I was like, it was school. I had to do fucking school work. I had PE in recess. That was good times. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So I think
go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think it is generational, because like even if you think about like once again we're going back to families, like you think about like the fathers and stuff like working extremely long hours and then coming home and shit, and then like it's literally like, all right, Dad, how was work? And it's like, man, I don't want to bring that shit up. I don't want to talk about nothing to do with nothing that had happened at work. And then you know what I'm saying, like that same shit probably happened like from there, where it was though they was working even longer hours. Like right now we might be at 8 hours a day or what have you, but at those points in time they was working 2 and 3 jobs to keep roofs over their head. So when they actually did come home, it was like, all right, I might not talk much. I'm gonna sit in this rocking. I'm gonna watch the game. I'm gonna watch whatever the fuck, eat and go to sleep. But now I think that is a generation.
Is that bad or is that good though? Because it's like, because everybody want to separate work from home anyway. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm trying to come home and chill, and I don't want to talk about work. I'm off work. I'm off the clock.
I like to leave work at work, but like sometimes like your significant other will tell you, everybody at her job, her who she got beef with.
Mm-hmm.
you know who she was cool with last week, but now she got beef with. You know who
Yep.
got beef with now, but she be cool. Like
this bitch.
But I work at work.
Yeah,
that's true. And that talks about the gender aspect of it too, because like they're so good at sharing, you know, their emotions and what they felt that day, and they're able to get all of that out. So it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not like harboring in them when they go to sleep. I feel like we probably got so much shit that we haven't talked about. We got fucking.
Why do you think we had this podcast? We got this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's a release, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and that was the point I was gonna make. And you know, it's kind of like even that whole thing of like, you know, just having a brotherhood and just having people who you can communicate and you know, it's like and still get your shit out, because I feel like even, you know, like Randall was saying earlier, you know, you don't want to dump your shit, especially as a man. You're supposed to be like the symbolism of security for your family. So if you don't seem stable, you create instability in everybody else. So, you know, and I think like the key for men, honestly, is to always just have some sort of emotional outlet, like where you're not pouring your shit on other people, but you still getting those emotions off. And I think that's part of the reason why we play sports. You know what I'm saying? I think sports is an emotional outlet. I think that's why we debate, you know what I'm saying? Just why we compete, you know what I'm saying? It's like just certain things to just, you know, get that energy out, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think it's necessarily like a good thing for the men to just be spilling their shit out on, you know, other people, unless you dealing with, like you said, you dealing with like you have an elder, you know what I'm saying, who you can confide in, you know what I'm saying? You got other men you can confide in. But as far as like on the women and children, I don't think that's good to be doing that shit, you know what I'm saying? And but like I said, it's hard to do it just as men, because, you know, there's competition, and then when you opening up your vulnerabilities, you putting yourself in a bad situation. So it's all about trust at the end of the day, man. As a man, I feel like if you want to open yourself up, you definitely got to be around people you can trust. So, you know what I'm saying?
So can I ask a follow-up question to that, Marcus? Just because you said it, in the event that you have an older person that you do trust, and that is an elder to you, and it is somebody that you can, not necessarily somebody that you have confided in or different things of that nature, but you also feel like you can learn different experiences from them moving forward. I mean, I'll just say moving forward because I don't know about everybody right now, but I know about myself. Moving forward, would you find yourself in an opportunity, or would you find yourself taking that opportunity to open up and like share, like hypothetically speaking, if it's your uncle who you know you can trust, who's been through some shit, and he comes up to you and like you see him and he'd be like, "Hey, how you doing today?" And you'd be like, "You know what? I'm gonna unleash a little bit, not necessarily peel the whole onion back, but I'm gonna unleash a little bit." Is that something that we can do? I'll say we can do.
Yeah, I think we can. Honestly, man, for real, to keep it all the way real, I think it's all about your security within yourself, man. I think if you spill yourself all the way open, if the other person chooses to take advantage of your vulnerability, that's on them. That ain't really on you. You know what I'm saying? So as long as you know who you are, and even if that person might take that to, you know, take your vulnerability or your opening up as a weakness, you know, that ain't really got nothing to do with you at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if your whole intention is to learn and to get better, then really that shit don't matter at the end of the day, because you still got better with whatever knowledge or wisdom that you gain from opening yourself up, you know?
I agree with that.
Yeah. That and who you talking to, though, at the time. That and who you talking to at the time.
Because at the same time, you could be opening yourself up to a complete demon, and that person will be about, you know what I'm saying? You don't know who. So you got to know who these niggas are. You be dealing with them. You know what I'm saying? You know? And it's fucked up because some niggas out here literally will talk to you just so they can find your vulnerabilities to attack you. Yeah. Like some people literally hover around to find people who they can, you know what I'm saying, to find vulnerabilities in them they can take advantage of. Like there's niggas, like there's people who exist like that, just straight up. That's their whole life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
I know what you mean. Like some people will like tell you the insides of them just to get a little bit of you.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Just to get the tea.
Yep.
They can tell you like all about them, like off break. Don't even, you know, don't give them a.
Wait, say that again. You was breaking up a little bit.
Like some people will like immediately tell you like, you know, the most deep shit about them just to get like a smidge of you. So you gotta kind of be wary of who you're up to. So
yeah, you see people like that a lot in the workplace too, man.
I was
like
gonna
you ever meet a person like off the break, they tell you everything about them, they tell you everything about everybody else, and it's like I didn't even tell you what my last name was yet. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know what my job title is, but you telling me about everybody at the job. I ain't telling you shit.
And it could be like
you
traumatic
all the time. Yeah.
Too.
Mm-hmm. Especially those people that be telling you about like the shit the niggas do they not supposed to do off the break. Like, okay, yeah, not you. Or so and so will be taking a little money out the register at night. You know what I'm saying? But that's between me and you. Like, nah, nigga, chill. Like,
you tattling on somebody.
Chatty patties.
Right. You tell a nigga, yeah, I had a couple drinks last night, and then they go back and tell a nigga, yo, that nigga BB getting fucked up.
Yeah. Exactly. Those niggas exist, bro. God damn.
Unfortunately,
just like that. You know what I'm saying? Just like that.
Especially when it comes to females. Oh, I her.
Terrible.
Chatty patty.
But that's the thing. They got the dudes out here like the females.
Exactly.
Just like them. Chattling.
Hit us with it, Al. Go ahead, hit us with it. Let me just to put things in perspective.
Said it 3 times.
Hey, but hold on. Before we move on, I just want to know. So, what's the conclusion to this conversation? Because I feel like we ain't really come to one. We were just like, hey, that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying?
We said that's how it is. We would try, but not really. But yeah, we should try, but not really.
We can try. Yeah, exactly.
I'm only going to speak for myself. I think my conclusion is my challenge for myself is if I find myself in a situation where as though it's an elder or if it's somebody I truly trust, especially who I know who has like-minded or who could have had similar experiences, I feel like I will attempt to open up to them and not necessarily come at it off the jump with I'm good. But at the same time, I also know that I will be protecting not necessarily my mental, but also protecting what is protecting what is said. You know what I'm saying? Make sure whatever is said is in confidentiality, but at the same time, making sure that it's not necessarily it's something that whatever I can learn from or grow from at least attempting to know that I tried it. You know what I'm saying? And that if it doesn't work, you know what I'm saying, it's not like the end all be all where I won't ever open up and share again. But at the same time, I do feel like I owe myself and I owe my future generations the opportunity, the ability to be able to share that with somebody else.
Shit, we'll see. Because honestly, I'm saying just if you ask me, the older folks, they will talk about your motherfucking ass.
Your ass quick.
They will cut your ass up quicker than your boys, dog. Oh, here come such and such. You at the family, here comes such and such. Come on, dog. That honestly, the older folks, I would they probably be the first I would confide in, but I know they're gonna cut my motherfucking ass up behind closed doors.
Tell your business too.
Hell yeah.
My grandmother was.
Yeah. Hey,
but I'd rather
that's the downside of telling the elders.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, boy.
Hey, that's the downside of telling you opening up to the elders in your family because they still look at you as the little nigga whose diapers they used to change, so they don't really give you that same respect. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, they call your auntie right after you tell them everything. Then they call grandma.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how that shit.
That's it.
They come this nigga.
I made a mistake one time. My uncle told everybody. I was like, God damn. I was like, man, never again.
Oh man. And for those viewers, we're not talking about religion because some people I can see them being like, oh well, you know what I'm saying, that's why you gotta have a relationship with God. We're not talking about God, we're talking about human beings. I just had to put that
about y'all niggas. We're talking about y'all niggas. We're not talking about God. We're talking about y'all
say that.